You're listening to PB&K with your hosts, Peter and Katie, only on LA Talk Radio.
My sonic state of mind, I can feel the rush, man, my heart. Let the music fill my heart, my state of mind. I can feel the flood, feel paralyzed. I'm drunk on you. I'm drunk on you. I'm drunk on you.
Hello. How's everybody doing out there? How's everybody doing? Welcome to PB&K. I'm your host, Peter Madrigal, along with Katie O'Malley. How you doing this? Actually, we switched times. We usually come on at 6 on Tuesdays, and now we're on 12 on a Thursday. That's really weird, right?
Totally out of the ordinary.
Well, my co-host had a problem with her golden throat.
That's right.
It was awful.
Voice.
She couldn't even talk. It was, you were like, actually, it was funny because you were at Sir and you were trying to take orders. You couldn't talk to anybody.
I couldn't. I worked the Cabo San Diego Music Festival, and then I came straight back and literally drove back and drove to Sir to work a double, and then that night we had a very loud Australian party of 40-year-old women, like as loud as I've ever heard.
It was amazing, actually.
And so we had to yell at our tables, and at one point, it was amazing, but at one point I was
what
like,
was funny about it was that the Australians, they were all like, we took our kids to Disneyland, now we came to our Disneyland.
Oh, boy. And that's another night at Sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
so how was the music festival in San Diego, was it? Yeah, it was San Diego, right?
Yeah, it was great. It's their I think it was their third year they said doing it, and they're kind of trying to do Coachella, but the lineup was crazy.
Or they're trying to do Coachella style.
Yeah, they are in San Diego.
Hopefully, it's a little bit more upscale than Coachella.
It is targeted more.
I never go to Coachella. I don't do it.
I went 1 year. I won't go back. It was a good experience, but yeah, it's a little crazy. This one was definitely more upscale as far as like the clientele, because I was a cocktail server in a cabana, and they were all part of Synchrony Financial Company, and so they invited like their clients, which were like agents from CAA who represented like the sports division of CAA. So they were there to spend money, and like over 40 for sure. So.
Over 40, like the clientele?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The majority. Then there were a lot of people our age, for sure, but nothing like Coachella. It was definitely more even out.
Okay,
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Tom Petty headlined, Pink headlined. Yeah.
Tom Petty,
Alanis Morissette headlined. It was crazy.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was great.
Okay. Who'd you go with?
I went, my boyfriend Josh came with me because he worked the festival as well. And then Jesse.
Her boyfriend Josh.
My boyfriend Josh, yes, he came with me.
And Jesse.
And Jesse, who is as we said last week, he sings the song, The Drunk on You.
Our intro, which is awesome. Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, he was there as well. He was enjoying it. And then Josh bartended, and then I was a server.
Wait, Josh bartends?
Now he does. Yeah.
How do I not know this?
He does now. They needed a bartender, and so he just learned on the spot. It was awesome. So
how do I not know that so now he can bartend?
He kind of found that out this weekend. We all found that out this weekend. It was great.
He can make a mojito? That's usually the test for me. In case you don't know this, anytime someone comes in and is all like, "Ooh, can I work here?" I'm like, "Make me a mojito." We'll like go behind the bar. I'm like, "No, stand there and give me the ingredients. List them off for me, please. Just like what goes into it." Right. And they're like, vodka. I'm like, get out. Just get out.
Vodka.
Yeah. No.
I remember you saying that to me. You were like, I was hosting and we were just talking, and you were like, what's the number one thing I always ask people who want to bartend here is how to make a mojito. And you said as soon as it's
the most difficult yet. I mean, it's the most standard difficult drink.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where to start at all. And so that's a good test because
it's a really good test.
So many bartenders come in and they are like ready to take over Sir, and they can't really make the simplest drinks.
Exactly.
We found.
Well, no. I mean, like drinks pretty much are simple. You can do like a, mixed drinks can be very simple.
Yeah.
Actually. But the hardest one that we have would be the mojito because it takes the most ingredients and the most build.
Okay.
So if you can do that,
yeah,
you can do all the other ones because the other ones are like 2 ingredients maybe. I mean, like a Cosmo would be like 3 ingredients or Midnight Fizz 3 ingredients, but this one is like 5 ingredients.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've noticed too, it's with like, let's say Lisa Vanderpump's Big Pinky, like our signature drink.
Yeah.
It's tough because I've noticed bartenders starting out, it's not the right color. And I wouldn't know how to fix that.
Too much cranberry.
Okay. If it's too
all
red.
you need is like, done.
Okay.
That way it comes out pink.
Yeah. It
You know
needs
what
to
I
be
mean?
the Big Pinky. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, this doesn't
That
look
looks
like a
red.
Big Pinky.
Yeah,
This looks like a big
exactly.
red thing.
Big red?
A big red thing. It looks like
soda.
sangria.
That's a soda, isn't it?
A big red. Yeah, it is, huh?
That's a soda from like the South.
Yeah. Along with
Shout
grape.
out to all the South.
Grape.
Along with the grape soda.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so we have an interesting day today. Or interesting few topics.
So excited.
I'm drinking something that is that you should be drinking out of a mug, not wine. It's too early for wine. I'm drinking actually it is 5 o'clock somewhere, but I decided on the pumpkin spice latte. I love these. I'm a very seasonal guy. You know what I mean? I'm usually just black coffee, but when it's in season, like a pumpkin spice latte or a peppermint latte, I love drinking those, especially during the time of the year that, like it's fall. It reminds me of fall, and then football, and then winter. It's awesome. You know what I mean? And once you get back to spring, I'm like black coffee. I don't give up on my black coffee. I just, relegate it.
Yeah.
In between.
You just add a little flavor now and then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Seasonal.
Well, I'm glad.
But yeah, no, we have an interesting show today. We're going to talk about dating, and it was a great segue actually from your. You said, "Oh, my boyfriend Josh."
Yes.
So, tell us about Joshua.
Well, Joshua, he's from Texas.
Okay.
And he works at SIR.
So you met him at SIR?
I met him at SIR.
I'm talking as if I don't know this person.
I know, right? You know exactly who he is. You've known him longer than I have.
I know.
But yeah, so I've known him for 2 years. We were friends from the beginning, but when I first started, I was in a relationship, and then he was also in relationships.
I didn't know he ever had a relationship before you.
Before me? Really?
Yeah.
You didn't.
I mean, I knew off and on. I was like, oh yeah, he's in a relationship.
Yeah.
But I had no idea. Like, I never met the girls, or I never knew anything about him. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's like when I heard you were dating him, I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I like because I knew that you had an off and on thing, but I never knew that he had an off and on. So like, okay, it makes sense because nobody's taken here. So yeah, okay, why not?
Right. Yeah, no, it just kind of, it happened, and so we've been dating since February, and it's going really good.
It's going okay?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So how is it, I know I'm not one to say anything about this, because I've been there too, but how is it dating somebody at the workplace?
It can be tough.
What's your experience? Because we both have had experiences.
Right. Okay. My experience is pretty much, it's tough just because it can be. Because based on who you talk to about, like, let's say you guys get in an argument, or let's say, I don't know, like just, couple stuff is happening. If you tell the wrong person, the whole workplace knows. And that can get tough just because we're there so much, and it gets hard to focus on the job if maybe like everybody knows what you're going through and it's something tough or something like that. Or even just like, I mean, when it's, if it was something good, that's fine too. But I'm a very private person.
Yeah.
And with SIR, it's almost like, you could say it too, it's almost like the walls have ears in a sense. And no matter what, everybody knows, everybody somehow found out or heard something, even if it's not true, about what's going on. And so I think that's tough because all my relationships have been very, very private.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there's nothing. I love
in other words,
seeing
what
it
you're
at
saying
work.
that it's weird when everybody knows everything that's going on in your life.
Yeah.
To your private life, because
Yeah.
and I have always known you as being a very private person.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we became really close But I've always known you to like that side of your relationship. You never really exposed it. You never talked about it. I mean, we just recently talked about it, but it was like, it was after the fact.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And because you're one of the people I trust, and so I can talk about anything with you, but I know that, things I tell you, I'm not telling to everybody. You know?
Exactly. And I don't do the same. Until now. And I'm kidding. Now I'm telling everyone.
Here we go. No, but what's your experience with dating at SUR?
My experience with dating, first of all, it hasn't happened in a long time because I became the manager there.
Oh.
So when I first got there, I was dating somebody, and then I ended up dating somebody, and then I dated Stassi.
Right.
And that was like 2009 and then 2010. And pretty much the same thing, actually. And I haven't done it since because I was so scarred.
Yeah.
I haven't done it since. It was too much. You go to work just to work. You don't actually go to work to have a relationship. And I mean, I was young and brash and full of myself, I suppose you could say. And I'm a little bit less like that now. Mm-hmm. I'm the most humblest person I know. but no comment. Yeah, don't say anything. But yeah, I pretty much had the same experience dating at SUR. It was like everyone knew your business, and everyone knew, like, there were like different opinions were being thrown around about you, and it's like, everyone just mind their own P's and Q's, like, mind your own business. Like, don't get involved with my relationship.
Your own P's and carrots.
Peas and carrots. Yeah. P's and Q's. Peas and carrots. No, that's not the right one.
I don't know. It works. It works. Mind your own P's and carrots.
Everyone at SUR knew everything about me at a certain point. You know? And then I kind of became more of a mysterious guy again. After I was promoted, I became a more mysterious type of person. And I spent less time, like, trying to pursue the SUR women and more time pursuing women outside of the workforce.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's like you kind of already been with the SUR women.
Yeah, exactly. So you've been, but it's like, but then you experience what, like, you experience, like the whole, I know why are you doing this in your relationship, or why are you doing that in your relationship, or how dare you say that about my friend? It's like,
right.
No, just leave this part. Like, you can talk to me about anything else. Don't talk to me about a relationship with my girlfriend. Because because you're her friend. Talk to her about it. Don't talk to me about it. Don't try to make that type of thing.
Right. Yeah. I think the upside to dating in like someone at SUR is, like, you get to see them a lot, which is cool because, like, we're there a lot.
Here's the upside. The upside is you get done at the same time, let's say, sometimes, and then you could go and hang out and get a drink somewhere.
Oh yeah.
That's the upside.
That's true. I do see the people I work with at SUR the most, hands down, out of anybody.
Yeah.
If not all. Like, I mean, it just, I don't know. It just works out that way. It's like if you're on the same schedule that way.
Well, no, I feel that everybody at SUR pretty much is there all the time. And the thing is that people, like, they always kind of get scheduled the same way because that certain people are competent in what they do. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you're able to see certain people all the time.
Right.
Plus, we have such a small workforce. It's like a second family.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's true.
Working there, like, is, I've developed, after a long time, you develop, like, relations with people, not romantic, but just like, I'm really good friends with these people. I know about them. Like, we're together all the time. You can't help but do that.
Right. Even for holidays or anything. Like, we spent the 4th of July together.
Well, I mean, like,
do Thanksgiving.
What's funny is I was telling one of the other hostesses. Actually, I've told a few people, and this goes back to being the well-oiled machine. But last year, I was dating someone in Orange County, and I kind of was breaking away from everybody. Yeah. So I didn't know anyone, and everyone thought I was a little bit not aloof, but just didn't want to be associated with anybody there. But that was part of what happened to me in the relationship. That was a side effect, as you would say. You know what I mean? I didn't really mix around with anybody. And then once that ended, I mean, I've been around the people there more times than I can remember.
Right.
At this point, I've become really good friends with people there that didn't really know me. I told Presley, for instance, that's the girl I was telling. She's one of the hostesses. She told me that she's been there for 2 years, and I didn't even recognize it. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. I didn't even think, because like we've communicated more now than we have before. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that was just a side effect of what was going on with me in my private life.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I would just go into work, get all the work done, and then leave.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, my life was in, like, I wasn't going to say in that's the wrong term to use because I don't want, but it was not in shambles. It was more like,
you were in a tough relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember.
Oh, yeah.
You remember. I
Yeah,
complained to you. Yeah.
I watched it.
I know you
did.
did.
Happen. And, yeah, it was...
It was an interesting relationship. I'm not going to say, I don't want to degrade it. I don't want to say, but it was an interesting relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think everybody has those.
Yeah.
I know you have.
Yep. Oh yeah, I had a very interesting relationship.
Exactly.
But so okay, going back to then just I guess general dating in LA. What would you say you look for in women?
What would I say I look for in women? Well, I'm going to ask you the same thing about men.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, all right.
Ready.
What do I look for in a woman? I mean, like when you approach a woman, it's usually. I mean, I look at looks first.
Yeah.
And then after looks, you know, it just comes down to like, okay, can I hold a conversation with this person? Like, for instance, I'm dating someone right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also in a new relationship.
Ah.
And spoiler alert for everybody out there. And I know, right? I think I might even marry her. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, why don't we just
so
calm
pump the
down.
brakes? No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
So, I was like, oh, okay. Am I going to be able to hold that's my number one fear because. You know, like someone's looks, all right, cool, awesome. You know, they look great.
Yeah.
I want to take this person out. But then once crunch time happens.
Yeah.
Once your car is parked outside of their building and you're waiting for them to get in your car, it's like, oh my God, am I going to be able to hold a conversation with this person?
Yeah.
I'm just literally like I was. This was like 3 weeks ago when we first started dating. I was literally like, am I going to be able to hold a conversation with him? And what ends up happening is like, of course, you're both very guarded. You're in a car with a complete stranger.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is, okay, you go through the night and you progress and you like get a couple drinks and you loosen up a little bit. And then afterwards, once you're loosened up a little bit, then, you know, you're in vino veritas. In wine there is truth. So once you start loosening up a little bit, your real side comes out.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then you can express yourself, and then that becomes normal when you don't have booze in your system.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you know it's so at the beginning it's pretty weird, and I will admit that like at the beginning of at the beginning of that date, it was like it was a little tense.
Okay.
You didn't know what to talk about, or like, hi, how's it going?
Yeah.
You know?
But did the conversation then start running smoothly?
It started running smoothly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then that's how you know.
Yeah, we were just trying to figure, just kind of, can she deal with my quirkiness?
Yeah.
You know? Not a lot of people can deal with my quirkiness.
Yeah, no, that's
I can be a
huge.
little sarcastic and quirky at times.
Yeah, and you have to just like find someone who can either gets the humor, or is like,
you're weird.
Or just confused, and they're just like,
oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that was one of the easy parts about Josh and I relationship is that since we knew each other for 2 years already, I mean we've been friends for so long.
So then it just went from being friends to being friends with benefits or sexual stuff.
I mean, it pretty much became. We never were like friends with benefits. We went from friends to like dating.
So in other words, the one thing that was missing was the sexual stuff.
Yeah, when
There
we
you
were
go.
friends. Yeah, for sure. And so
Okay,
that I
that
think
makes sense.
with us, instead of having
So
to.
it's a true blue relationship, people.
What's that mean?
I don't know.
Oh,
It's a full-on relationship now.
Oh, okay. Oh, got you. I was like, is that a TV show?
Why does everyone think, like, I've been saying true blue for a while, and everyone's all like, what does that mean, true blue?
Maybe that's a hint that maybe that doesn't make any sense. I don't.
True blue means a real thing.
Oh, True Blue. Okay.
Oh, my God.
True Blue. Okay, got it. I won't forget. I was like, is that like the airline? Are you talking about like True Blue, like JetBlue? You are True Blue?
No, not JetBlue,
Okay.
True Blue.
Or like
A
True Blue, like
It's
the J-Lo TV
It's just
show.
something people say.
Okay.
Anyway, continue.
People say it for sure.
Continue.
I think that for us, what I was more had to figure out, and him too as well, is just kind of like if you have the chemistry then to be a couple, because there's a very different, there's a distinction between being friends and being a couple, and so that was what we had to figure out, and
that was what you had to figure out.
Not in sense like figure out, but like that's what just defined us from friends to dating. Instead of just like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Okay, let's go out on a date. It was more like, oh, wow, we found ourselves in a position where we were on a date almost by accident.
Okay, all right. So what was your first date?
Okay, so our first date
This is interesting.
Yeah. We went to the Culver City Hotel. The Culver Hotel. It's in Culver City. It's called the Culver Hotel.
Clover or Culver?
Culver.
Culver Hotel.
What did I say?
I thought you were saying clover, like a fleur-de-lis clover. Sorry,
that's a great name for a hotel.
I know.
And I'm Irish. Why didn't I think of that?
I don't know.
Okay, so
lack of brain cells, perhaps.
This is recorded, so
I know.
Can hear you. And I don't even have a mic, so I can hear you. So it's the Culver Hotel. We went, and because he would always like to go for jazz night, and we went before. Actually, let's mention him again. After Jesse's show, he performed, and we all went to the Culver Hotel.
Awesome, by the way. Yeah.
It was great. Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Was I there?
We went together. You and I went together.
We went together to Jesse's thing.
Yeah, to his trunk show, the trunk show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember now.
And Lala performed.
And then what did I do afterwards?
I don't know what you did, because majority of people went to the Culver Hotel. We were all there together. But anyway.
Oh, I remember. I just want to go home because we had to get up and shoot the next day. Wait, no. Hold on.
Okay.
What day was that?
It was a weekday for sure.
What month was that?
Oh.
I know I was probably doing something super, super, super important.
It was in February.
Because I'm an important person.
Yes. So we went to the Culver Hotel after that because he was like, oh, that was fun. We should go back. And so then we ended up going back. And I kind of didn't know if I was supposed to invite anybody else. And he said he felt the same way. And so I kind of mentioned it to a couple people at SUR. And I was just like, we're going back. Like if anybody wants to, that was really fun. And then people kind of were like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Maybe, whatever. And then it ended up just being Josh and I. And then, we stayed out till we just bar hopped around the area after that. After listening to the band until 2 a.m.
Wait. After Jesse?
No. After, I'm so sorry. This is a confusing
So this is
story.
a different day. So everyone went to the Culver Hotel.
After Jesse on a different day.
So
That's how
you and Josh found out that, that place is awesome.
Yes.
Let's go back.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And then we just ended up staying out, and it was like, oh wow, okay, what is this? And then I was very newly single. And
he was definitely single.
He was newly single as well.
Oh, he was
newly single as well. And then it was kind of okay, we had never really thought about it.
Okay, so when did you end up hooking up with him? Because I can tell you right now, I ended up hooking up with my girl right away.
Okay. I'm way old-fashioned.
We did not jump into bed the first night, but the second night, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh, with the one you're dating right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the second night, no. It wasn't until a couple weeks later, actually.
Okay. We hooked, officially, we're hooked up if we're talking about sex, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So people are hooked up, we made out. It's that's not hooking up.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
Not.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry.
There's a couple of people and my ex-girlfriend, she was always all hooking up means making out. I was all that doesn't make sense.
That does not make sense at all. Even other stuff messing around a little bit further than making out,
Second base.
Second base, exactly.
Second base, yeah.
Second base. People say that's hooking up. It's not. I don't think. I think if you say, oh yeah, we hooked up, that means you had sex.
You had sex. Home plate.
So we went to Home Plate. What was it? It was probably about maybe a month.
A month after?
A month after.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit longer. I know it definitely wasn't past my birthday, which was March 26th.
Okay.
It was before that for sure, but just a week before that, I think, is what it was.
Oh, okay. March.
I have it written down.
March.
Somewhere.
That's like me when I cut my hair. I have it written down too.
Oh well.
March 22nd, 2016.
We know
March
it's
22nd. Oh yeah, when I cut my hair off, March 22nd, 2016.
Oh my god.
That happened. I have the date right here.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Yes. because it's a day that will live in infamy.
Right.
Me cutting my hair.
Right.
So this whole change.
Right.
It's like
no, it was a big change.
It was a big change.
It was
you
huge.
know it, and I know it.
Yeah. People still ask me at Sir, like they always are like, oh, excuse me. Like it just happened the other week or last week. Oh, excuse me. Is that Peter? Yeah. Oh, he cut his hair. I'm like, yeah.
And that's been like just.
It's been like a season since he cut his hair. Like I'm just like looking at them like, yeah, it's
still
short.
I look at people too like that. Like I'm like, wait, hold on. You didn't watch last season?
Yeah, I don't get it. And if they're like, oh, like we're just such big fans. It's like I don't understand that.
How are you a big fan if you haven't seen me last season when I was like fresh and shaved?
Or if they even follow you, that's the other thing. Like everybody
know.
sees pictures and everybody saw you cut your hair and it was a big thing. And it's like it happens. It's happened more than once, and that's why I'm calling it out because it's like, art, like.
So I'm thinking about growing it back out. Just as a side note.
Okay, if you want to. If you want to. I don't think there's anything but wrong with that. Do you want to?
What do you think?
I like it short.
You like it short?
Yeah.
Because I like it short too.
Then why don't you just keep it short?
Okay, I'm gonna.
I mean, if you wanted to, I mean, you could grow it out. I think it kind of is like a pirate when you grow it out.
I'm a pirate when I grow it out.
You look like a pirate.
Someone's calling in right now.
Someone's calling in. Wow.
Wow, we have a caller.
Should we try answering?
Sure, yeah, why not?
As we go off topic here, let's see.
Let's see.
Should we talk?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, I dialed in the wrong thing. I'm so sorry. Bye.
That's very interesting. That's interesting.
We probably shouldn't have
That's
answered
hilarious,
that.
actually.
We thought that we had a caller. Okay, we'll have a set time for callers.
Yeah, we'll have a set time for callers. I thought someone just randomly wanted to call us.
I
was
know.
Like, okay, well,
'Cause you
take
do
the
go
call.
live.
Why not?
But what would you? Okay, I do want to.
No. So one thing that I wanted to ask you that I've been dying
boy.
to ask you because we kind of talked about it with me.
Oh,
but one
gosh.
thing that I want to ask you is, what do you look for in a guy when you see a guy? Let's say like you were in a relationship,
Right.
And you were walking down the street,
Okay.
and there was a guy that was approaching you. What would make you say yes, and what would make you say no?
Okay.
First of all, look wise.
I would look at looks. I don't really have a certain type though. Like it's just if he's a good-looking guy. I wouldn't say like, oh, he has to have blonde hair and he has to be really tall or he has to have brown hair or anything. Like I used to be like that because I was obsessed with Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic. So I would only want to see my first crush was blonde hair, blue eyes.
Well, no wonder you're dating Josh. Ha!
Yeah, now it's all coming back. Exactly. He does have blonde hair, blue eyes. But no, I was dating a brunette for a while and I don't think that.
Be careful, Josh, because she's going to want you to do the Leo DiCaprio Titanic look next.
I really don't. I'm perfectly content. I'm perfectly content.
I can't wait to see him come into work with that parted hair in the middle, the JTT look.
No.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh my God. No. So I don't look at anything specific like that. Just like chiseled, like good features, like just attractive. You can look at him and be like, that's an attractive person.
Yeah.
That, and then I look for confidence.
The DNA looks great. I want to procreate and make babies with that DNA.
Yeah, it's not even me. It's like some internal thing, already planned in me. Just like how guys they say they prefer girls with have a good waist to hip ratio.
Well, yeah,
because
but that's
childbirth.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't even know that.
You don't even know. I think that hips are sexy, but when you go into the psychology of it all. Oh, it's the wider the hip is best for childbearing.
And they say that about being women being attracted to men who have a deeper voice.
Yeah.
Because it's more masculine. It's like a better I think it was like a stronger just like a stronger man, like more protection. Like he'll protect me and my
Makes
child
sense.
in a sense.
Makes
sense. Deep voice. I love deep voices. Like if a guy's like, hi, it's a turn off. I'm like, no.
Hey guys, how's it going?
I think I don't have a deep voice, but I have I don't have a high pitched voice, I don't think.
No,
and so,
no.
So
I wouldn't be able to be friends with you if you had a high pitched voice.
Well, a lot of girls do though, and I feel.
Not really. No.
You don't think girls have high pitched voices? I think I know a couple of girls with high pitched voices. Higher pitched. I don't know. I've heard women talk. But anyways.
Like Lauren. Does she have a high pitched voice?
No, our hostess.
Yeah, that's the only one that I would say has. No, she doesn't. Who else? No one that I know, actually. Everyone has normal voices.
Really?
Yeah.
Who am I trying to think
Yeah,
of?
everybody that I know pretty much has normal voices. Everyone that I'm friends with, anyway.
Who's that girl? Well, like, I guess I'm thinking more actresses than, like...
And then people we know.
Huh?
Then people we know.
Yeah, I can't really think of anybody we know right now who has a high-pitched voice.
Off the top of your head?
No, not off the top of my head.
All right.
But, yeah. So I look for the looks, confidence for sure. If I see a guy who's reading, I love that.
A guy who's reading?
If he's sitting there, like,
now,
like,
what if he's
reading?
What if he's reading from like a iPhone? Is he just like reading from an iPhone?
Oh, that doesn't count.
That doesn't count?
Like an actual, like, bound book. Yeah.
Yeah, but what if the guy is reading an actual book, but it's on Kindle?
Then I will find that out if we talk, because
Okay.
how am I supposed to know that? I mean, like, that's interesting. If we end up, we have a conversation and then it's like, oh, I'm actually just reading this. It's like, okay, even better.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
See, because that tells you that he's efficient.
Efficient. Oh, that's true. Efficient, and just I like to read, and so I think it's cool when, like, people who still do read, just because, instead of being on Instagram or something like that.
No, I think books are awesome.
Yeah.
I like the
you
original.
read a lot.
I like the original, like the hardbound book with the smell of the paper.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And then you feel so, like, it's like you finish it. It's like, oh, and it doesn't look the same as it did.
Yeah.
Like, when it's brand new, and then once you, like, opened it and read it, it's like thicker and
get your greasy fingers all
Yeah.
over it. Maybe,
some coffee on it, maybe.
It's yours then.
It's yours. Like, and then you can lend it to someone. Like,
and then they add their own little quirks to it. Maybe they're drinking wine and it spills wine.
Yeah, and then my sister used to always get like food and drink on Harry Potter books, because she would read. She would not put them down. Like, we'd be sitting there eating.
You like shake out the crumbs.
Oh my gosh, no, just like she get like stains on it. I'm like, Lindsay, please, like, why are you doing that? And she's like, but she would get through those books like no other. I was really jealous of how fast she could read.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, those are the kind of things I look for in guys.
Speaking of Harry Potter, that came out. The last book came out how many years ago? 10 years ago? It's 10 years ago, right?
That the last book came out?
Yeah. 07, right?
Really? Oh, really?
10 years ago. Yeah.
I don't know.
My God, time flies. So anyway,
a long time.
Just to troll people, I decided to go into the Barnes & Nobles, open up the last book to the last page and start reading it.
You did?
And everyone was all like, "You're an ass!"
They had stories about people who did that. Like, they did drive-bys and they screamed out, like, the ending page to all the people waiting in line. Which
Don't worry, he lives.
Don't worry, he lives.
Don't worry, he lives.
Don't worry, guys. You don't have to wait.
You don't have to wait anymore. He lived. Well, screw you. Anyway, continue.
Wait.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No. I'm just remembering that night when I heard about that, and I was like, that is so rude. Okay, I want to ask you.
I did it.
That's so rude. A good thing. I'm pretty sure you weren't in Temecula, California at that time when Harry Potter came out.
No.
Okay, what was the worst date you've ever had?
Oh, Jesus.
This is exciting because I can't wait to hear
So,
this.
Was it on? Yeah. Okay. So, I met this girl on Tinder. I did Tinder for a minute. I met this girl on Tinder, right? We both swiped right, okay? And I ended up being like, by the way, you're not very lucky on that. You never get a match. Like, people just use it just to gain followers on Instagram or something. It's very weird.
People use it to hook up.
No, people use it to get Instagram followers.
Really?
Yeah. Nowadays it's like that. Like, when it first came out, it was all about hooking up.
Yeah.
And now it's all about just getting Instagram followers.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, follow me, and maybe we can go on a date, and then it's just follow, and then all of a sudden, nothing happens.
That's dumb.
It's interesting, actually.
Wait, okay, so you met this girl on Tinder.
I met this girl on Tinder, right? And at first, the pictures, you're just like, okay, she's hot, she's attractive. All right, okay, cool, yeah. And she comes out, and it's nothing like her pictures. Nothing at all. Ugh. Nothing like her picture. I'm just like, I don't even trust social media anymore.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's fake.
I have to, because I've gone on a few dates like that where I'm like, oh my, that's why, I just stopped.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So
I love the Peter. Oh my
God. So
you go on a date with this girl.
No, she gets in my car, and I was all like, when she was walking through the door, I was like, please don't be her. Please don't be her.
Are you serious? It was that big of a difference?
Yes. Huge. Wow. huge. Okay. And I was literally like, oh my God. Like, I was like, I literally, she gets in my car and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me right now. Hey, how's it going? You good? Awesome. You know, I like really put on the biggest facade ever.
Yeah. And then you have a whole night with this woman.
Not really. No, I was like looking to get away as quickly as possible. I could not wait to get away.
Okay.
I was literally like, I couldn't wait. And she actually, she wanted to do a podcast with me. She proposed that.
She's the one you told me about?
Yeah. Yeah, I told you
Wait
about
a second.
So
when you guys, did you have dinner together?
We had a couple appetizers and some wine.
And then you just said, I'm tired, I have to go. Like, how'd you get out of it?
Girls do this. They usually do this, but I stole it.
You pulled one from our book.
Yes.
What'd you do?
I texted my brother to call me.
Oh my God, Peter.
Call me. You know, tell me you need a ride.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Wow.
Yeah. I stole one from you ladies' books. And so he was all like, Peter, I need a ride. Can you come get me? I was like, sorry, I got to go. My brother, you know, she's all like, okay, we're going to do this. I was like, yeah, sure, of course. Yes, yeah, of course. Yes.
Oh my God.
And then she told me, she texted me, she's all like, oh, you ghosted on me or something like that.
Oh.
You know? I'm like, what? Like, you weren't what advertised. You know what I mean? You weren't as advertised. You tricked me. I'm ghosting on you. Come on. Seriously? No. So that was one of the worst days. What's another? Oh, I have another one for you.
Let me hear it.
Okay. So I picked this girl up from Marina. I drive all the way down to Marina Del Rey.
You meet this one on Tinder as well?
No.
Okay.
I just met this, like, it was just a random night out.
Okay.
And I go and pick her up, and then we're having a cool time, right? And we go to Pump, right? Because it was Kyle Chen's birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
This was like 3 years ago, I think.
Okay.
This is 3 years ago.
Okay.
And she was cool, you know. And then Chad comes and says hi to me, right?
General manager of Pump.
The general manager of Pump. And he just comes to say hi to me really quick. And I was like, hey, how's it going, Chad? And then he leaves, right? And then we continue eating.
Uh-huh.
Because we getting food or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she, like, her attitude toward me totally changed. I was like, what's the matter? She's like, why didn't you introduce me to that person? I was all like, I didn't know that I had to, right?
Yeah.
And she flew off the handle. I mean, it was bad, Katie. It was really bad.
She was out for the Instagram followers.
Well, no, it wasn't just. No, I don't know if it was out for the Instagram followers. She just started telling me, you know, you have to introduce me to people. You have to introduce me to. Why didn't you introduce me to that person? I was all like, I didn't know that was important. Like, he's just a friend of mine. I'm not going to introduce you to all my friends right away. We got to get to know each other first. And then I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to drop you off at home because I'm a gentleman. Otherwise, you know, because like Marina Del Rey is really far. She's all like, yeah, you better. I was all like, okay, fine. So we got in the car and she just starts yelling at me the entire drive home. Just literally like, because I had the two passenger car at that time, the BMW Z4, and she was just yelling at me like, you know, everything I do is for my kid. I was all like, oh Jesus, just I'm like literally like driving like this, like I was literally driving like this while she's like, and I'm like, okay, and then once yeah, she had a kid, and once we got back to her apartment, she was like telling me how like she bought a new dress just for this date. And I was literally like, I didn't tell you to do that. I said, just be casual. Who cares? You know, and she really wanted to impress me. I was like
a psychopath.
It was bad. It was real bad. And then I was like, could you please get the hell out of my car? Just please get the hell out of my car. Please. Okay. And she wouldn't do it, and she wouldn't do it. And I was literally like, I got out of my car.
Yeah.
I took my keys with me. I started walking away. I just had left my car. And she started chasing me down. And then I got in my car. And I turned it on, and I locked the doors. Yeah. And then she would just march back up to her apartment. It was really bad.
Yeah.
I never want to experience something like that again.
Yeah.
Never. But those two were the two worst dates of my life. Thankfully, right now I'm dating a nice girl.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
I had a similar experience in the sense that.
Did you really?
Yeah. Well, in the sense that.
Was he yelling at you?
He wouldn't. Well, he didn't yell at me, but he didn't want me to. Like, he wouldn't get out of my car, in a sense, because we went out. I met him on set, I think. It was a long time ago.
Was he an extra?
He was a producer, actually.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh,
He said, I don't
jeez.
know. You never know with these guys.
Yeah, I know,
but
exactly.
we just had some wine or whatever, and then he goes, oh, well, can you drive me? I live right here at this apartment. Can you drive me there because I can't drive? And I was like, oh, God, okay. And then I was like, why? Like, we had one glass of wine. He's like, well, yeah, but I also did a bump right before you came. I was like, oh.
Oh, that, no. No, that reverses it. You're more alert after a bump.
Oh, I don't know.
He was full of garbage.
He's full of garbage. So then I just drive it, and I was like, all right.
Taking a bump is like taking a shot of espresso.
Okay, I don't know. I've never done it. But so I drive him.
Neither have I.
We know. So I drive him. No, I drive him to his apartment, and then the doorman's right there, and he like opens the car, and he's like, no. He's like, do you want to come up though and drink some more or whatever? And I was like, no, I don't. And he's like, no. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. Come on. And then he kind of started getting a little aggressive, just with his tone, not anything like that. But then the doorman's right there, and he's like, she's coming up, take her car. He said that to the doorman guy or the valet. And
so he wanted to sleep with you right away.
Yeah.
Like, no effort in, just sleep with me.
Yeah, because then I said, because that's right. Yeah, because then he said to me, I was like, I'm not, I said, you know what? I said, I'm not going into your apartment. Like, what do you want from me? Like, you think I'm going to like sleep with you? And he's like, no. That's on our second date. We're just going to hang out right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
And I'm staring at him and I was like, get out of my car. And then the valet guy is looking at him and he's like, man, and he starts helping me. He's like, you got to get out. Like, get out of her car. And he's like, no, she's coming up. He's like, she's not coming up. So then finally he gets out and I just never talked to him again. But I would say the worst date I was on is actually kind of creepy. This guy took me, I don't even remember how I met him. It was like a long time ago. But he took me to an LA Kings game, which I'd never been to a hockey game before, so I was excited.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
By the way, we should go to a Rams game. Shout out to the Rams.
Oh, yeah. Those are fun.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So he takes me to the Kings game, and he picks me up and everything. He's a gentleman, and he drives me and everything like that. And like we get food before or whatever. And then we're sitting there, and he's asking me all these questions, like, so like how old are you and everything. And he's older than me. I don't know how old. I would guess. I thought he was maybe mid 30s to 40, if I had to guess. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know. And so he's like, so how old are you? Like, what do you do? Blah blah blah. And I was actually still living in Orange County at the time. So, I think I was finishing, I was in college still, I think. I don't know. But I was like telling him, and he's like, oh, that's cool. And so I said, yeah. And I'm like, so how old are you? Like, if you don't mind me asking. He's like, oh, and he goes, I don't like to disclose that, like, on the first date. Yeah. Yeah. We're sitting there at this Kings game, and I'm like,
I like to tell everybody I'm 34.
I mean, it didn't make any sense to me. And I was just like,
isn't it like girls that don't want to say their age and guys who brag about it?
Yeah, you would think.
That is the way, that's the way it usually is, right?
Yeah. So I just was like, okay. And then we're like kind of sitting there, and now I'm kind of wondering, I'm just like, that's kind of weird. So then like the conversation keeps going. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, so like, what do you do then? Like, cause I didn't know anything. He hadn't told me anything.
So you went on a date with a random person who wouldn't tell you a thing about himself.
Yeah. And I do not remember how we met. I think we met through a friend.
Was he a producer?
To this day, Peter, I don't know, because when I said, what do you do? He's like, oh, and he said, I don't like to disclose that either, because I don't think it's proper to be attracted to someone like just based on what they do. Like, what kind of question is that, what you do? So I'm thinking he's a serial killer. Like, that's what this is, and I'm not getting out alive. Anyways, to cut
Ted
this
Bundy,
long
Ed
story.
Gein.
What?
Ted Bundy or Ed Gein.
Yeah. So to cut this whole story short, I'm like, dude, I don't know this guy's last name. I don't know his age. I don't know what he does. So he's like, yeah, like, don't worry. And he kept saying, don't worry.
Did you at least know his first name?
Yeah.
Real first name?
Yeah. I think it was. I think his name was, I don't even remember his name at this point. I think it was Blake or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's not a serial killer's name. So that's got to be a fake.
It could be. But so I was like, I'm getting like really freaked out now, and I drove with this guy, like he has the car, so I'm just like, great, what am I supposed to do?
So are you still in LA, or did he take you to like Marina or something?
We're still at the Kings game when all this is happening.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So you can just call an Uber.
I could have called.
You're not trapped.
No, but it was, you know what? It was so long ago. Uber wasn't even a thing yet.
So it's
really.
2011.
Is that when
Uber came on in 11, 12?
Yeah, it was.
Oh wow, okay.
It was a while ago. So I'm like, okay. So then he's like, yeah, I don't want to disclose that. He said, I think that that influences too much. Like, why would people ask you what you do? And I'm like, that's just weird. So then we're gonna go, and I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, do you want some food? Are you hungry? And I was like, no, I'm not. And he's like, well, and I don't know what these guys are with. I drank too much, but he's like, well, I don't feel okay to drive. We need to get food. He tells me. So I'm like, oh, okay. So we go to Wolfgang Puck, which is fine because it's public. And then I'm like, okay, like I want to go home. So we go back to this car, and he like does something weird with his car, and he's like, oh, the engine won't start. And we're sitting in this parking lot, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like, I'm ready to call my aunt. I'm ready to like say goodbye to everyone. Like, I'm on the plane that's gonna crash. I'm just like, this is it. And so I was like, yeah. So anyways, eventually, and then he tried to hook up, and I said,
so he went in for the kiss.
He went in. He was like, no, he went in for the pants. Like, he was grabbing like in my pants, and I was like, okay. So I was just like, you either take me home right now, or like I will call the cops. And
what is it? My
my
question is what is it with guys who don't have any charisma? It's like, it's all about the charisma. It's like
I don't know.
It's just.
He's a psychopath.
It's like sometimes I'm not trying to brag about myself, but I think my charisma is just oozing through.
Oh, it is. Wait, oh my gosh. So much time has gone by because there was one thing we have to talk about after all these worst dates ever. I'm alive, by the way. I made it.
Yeah, she's alive, unfortunately.
I'm fine. I made it home. Never talked to him again. Blocked him on everything. Just,
and
wow.
This guy's name was Blake. So keep an eye out for Blake.
If you're listening, Blake, you're an asshole. Okay. How do I bring this up?
What?
Okay. I was going to ask you kind of like things that turn you on, because one of the main things that turn me on is I love blowjobs. Like, I love giving blowjobs, right?
You like giving blowjobs?
I love giving blowjobs.
Oh, whoa. Wow.
And that sounds so slutty, and I really am not, but I do have like an oral sex handbook. So anyone looking in my bag or like coming over and like seeing my books
would
think I'm a sex addict.
You have an oral? Really?
I do.
That's very interesting.
Because I think that it's just like, it's important to hone your skills. And I think
that's true, actually. Maybe I should do the same thing. My skills are actually my skills are okay. So
But if we're talking about dating and stuff like that, then I mean, that's kind of part of it.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, because the penis is such an aggressive thing. It can be. When do you feel comfortable giving said blowjob? Here's the thing. No wonder, because like you don't want like a dirty dick in your face. It's like, oh God, that's disgusting.
No, you don't. You want to make sure it's like
clean and neat and just like,
You got to know. I would never like giving someone a blowjob from first meeting them is just preposterous to me. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, why would you risk that?
Yeah, exactly. Because you could have, like I said, dirty dick in front of you. You're like, oh, Jesus, this is disgusting. Am I supposed to suck on that?
Right. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Or, like, I think that I think it's even more intimate than sex for me.
For you, it's more intimate than sex?
Yeah, for sure. It feels much more, not intrusive. It's intrusive if you don't want to do it, which That's don't
very
do
intrusive.
it then. It's very, it's very personal. Or not personal, but private. It's very private and like intimate. Intimate is the word.
Okay.
I think. But
what turns me on? I guess I don't know. Like what turns me on is, I mean, I'm not going to say intellectual conversation, but actually, yeah, that's like, because like if I see a hot woman, just like, oh my God, I got to talk to her. Mm-hmm. But if she has nothing upstairs, or it goes back to me being able to conversate with someone.
Oh, okay.
If I can't. I'm serious about this. I remember that Asian chick?
Alicia?
No, the Asian girl. She was randomly at SUR, and she wanted to take me home.
On Pride? Or no?
No, this was after. This was just like about a couple months ago.
No, I
Were
don't.
you there that night?
Maybe you told me about it, but I don't know.
This girl, she kept on hitting on me, and
was she not interested?
She just was not what I like. I'm just like, I was not trying. Like, I'm sorry, nothing was working. None of my equipment would work. because I didn't find her attractive. I just didn't. You know what I mean?
There was no blood movement.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so my mind was not stimulated to like being attracted to her.
Okay.
So, but she wanted me to she wanted me to like give her a ride home. It was kind of the same thing as you were, but in reverse. She's like, I had too much to drink. Can you take me home?
It's like, call an Uber.
Exactly. I was like, call an Uber. She's like, I can't call an Uber. I was like, okay.
I would feel that'd be bad for a guy because you probably feel a little more responsible, like more protective, as a guy.
Yeah. No, I was like, okay, fine. I'll get you home. I'll take you home. No worries. It's whatever.
Okay.
Right? She's like, can you come up to my room and help me like get up to my room? It's the same exact thing as you went through, right? But this doesn't count as a date. I just met her at Sir. She just was like, there.
Yeah.
And so we get back to her room. I was like, okay, cool. She's like, you want to take a bath with me? And then she like takes off her other clothes and fills the bathtub up and gets in the bath. And I was literally like,
was she drunk?
She was giving it to me. She literally was like, just here you go. You know?
She drunk?
A little bit.
But not like inebriated.
No, not inebriated. She knew exactly what she was doing.
Okay.
And she just literally like gave it to me. And I was literally like looking at her and I was like, I cannot do this. I don't find you. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not working. And I was like, you know what? I got to go home. I'm sorry. And I just like left. And she was all like, I'm like, I didn't want it.
Did you ever talk to her after that?
No.
Yeah.
No. She was from out of town too. I think she was from Chicago or something.
Sounds like a psychopath.
And
with you, that has to be scary. That you have to be more careful, just because like girls can use it to be like, oh, he took advantage of me.
Yeah, exactly. I have to
for
be
any
very
guy
careful.
though too.
But I have to be very careful. I mean, like with that though, I mean, like there was no like, I mean, like she'd have to beat herself up if she was all like claiming rape or something. But
right.
I mean, it's like I can't like. But then again, once push comes to shove, nobody's going to believe her because like I'll have you as a character witness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's just not me. I would never think about it. Like that doesn't click with me. I have too much charisma and too confident in myself to ever need to go that level. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be arrogant, but it's true. Women are attracted to me.
Right, then they just need to calm down.
I know. But that's my point is that like sometimes it just gets served up to me. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to brag, but it's like nobody would like I would never think about doing something like that.
Right.
That's just awful.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's happened to you has also happened to me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
So psychopaths exist on both sides of the sexes.
Well, thank God. Thank God it's not just
thank God it's not just guys.
At least it's fair.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. Yeah. And it's harder in LA, too, I feel like, just because it's such a...
I'm sorry for getting us off track, though. What were we talking about?
I said, what turns you on?
Oh, yeah.
And you were saying that it's like there has to be some kind of stimulant.
There has to be a stimulant
for
there.
sure.
There has to be like, it's not just about looks for me. There has to be like
right.
I don't know. Just like I get turned on by conversation. If I can have a conversation, because my mentality is this. Here's my whole thing, and like you might find this retarded. I don't, but I've had some scares that weren't scares in my life, and it's pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and my whole thing is like, okay, if I ever sleep with someone again, it has to be I have to be compatible with him to a certain extent.
Just in case that happens?
Just in case that happens.
That's a scary thought.
No, but it's like, no, because I'm not going to, I'll raise a kid by myself, but I have to get along with the person. I have to get along with the girl who carries the child. Mm-hmm. I have to. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Especially now, I'm like, okay, if that happens, I'll take full responsibility for it, but I have to get along with them. Does that make sense?
It does. I just feel like there's so many different ways to prevent that. It just
there's a lot of preventative. But you never know it can happen. You know what I mean?
True.
Life finds a way. Bum, 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 bum.
On that note, no, I'll just scare the hell out of all of it.
I know. Did I cross the line yet? I think I did.
I think it's like, oh yeah, it's way back there. I had a pregnancy scare. For sure. That was the scariest thing. I felt like I was in Juno, like having to see if...
Yeah?
Yeah. Having to, I'm like sitting there like waiting. I just think of Rainn Wilson going like, your ego is prego. And I'm like,
Jesus.
oh, Lord. No.
That's funny, actually. Your ego is prego.
Your ego is
looking
prego.
back on stuff
That's
like that, it's like, you're like, okay, yeah, I dodged a bullet there. But that's my whole thing. Mm-hmm. If I can get along with said person, perfect. Because I always like look at that, like, what if it happens?
Wow.
I mean, you know what I mean?
That's a lot. That's I think that's good because I think so many guys are just like, oh my gosh, like I can't control it or whatever, and then they'll just do it and like not be careful.
No, I'm
and it's like boom.
I don't know what it is about me.
Wow.
I'm very into. I think things through.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's so interesting. I'm like the same way.
Oh, well, no wonder we get along. Heyo.
Heyo. Yeah. No, I'm so particular.
Mm-hmm.
So particular that it's like.
It's to a fault, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
No, I'm very. I'm like it's at this point, especially at this point in my life, I have gone like it's. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like I want what I like what I like, and if you don't fit that criteria, not gonna happen. You know.
Right. Well, yeah. No, I think. Oh yeah. There's so many attractive people.
Well, we're in LA. This is the city of angels.
Yeah.
In a sense.
You could look around, but like some are just like there's nothing in their head.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh,
or maybe there is, but just it's not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
You know, it's something else.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like if you can't get along with a person intellectually or mentally or anything like that, and like let's say you get along with them mentally or intellectually, here's the opposite. Let's say you get along with them mentally and intellectually. Okay, yeah, that's great. I'm glad, but physically, no. Physically, no. I'm sorry. Physically, no. We can't.
Has that happened to you? Because that hasn't happened to me. Actually,
that's happened to me in my past. Yeah,
you've been mentally attracted.
Yeah,
to
no,
somebody.
mentally I get along. Like yeah, I have great conversations with certain people, but I'm just like I can't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why the girl that I'm seeing right now is like a perfect storm. You know what I mean? Because like even our signs match up. We're opposite signs. It's perfect. You know.
Oh God, you're gonna bring astrology into this.
And on
Josh
that
would
note,
kill me if I was like, you know what, our signs. He hates that kind of stuff.
Wait, what sign is? Because I know you're an Aries. What
He's
sign
Aquarius.
Is so you're fire and water. So he douses your fire.
Yeah, he douses. He douses. What is that? No, that sounds awful. No, he like. I don't know how to put it. See, that's why the signs are stupid. It's like, oh, you guys match because you're like a little more and stuff. But he's like. No, he would. If I didn't know astrology, I would say he's.
At least he has an intelligent conversation with you, right?
He has an intelligent conversation, and we keep up with each other for sure.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's not just like he's water. Like that's nice. He's water.
He's water, so he douses your fire.
Or just kind of like is like tranquil. No, he can be tranquil, but for the most part, he's pretty spunky.
Pretty spunky.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Wait, so what's Stephanie?
Fire sign. She's a Sagittarius.
And you're water?
I'm air. So I fan her fire.
Oh, good Lord. This sounds so dumb. Like, fan her.
I fan that fire, baby.
That's dumb. Oh, my God. I used to make a point of reading the horoscope every day because I loved paper, like original old school newspapers. I just thought that was the best thing ever.
Yes.
Eating cereal, reading that. Like, my day was not the same if I
Wall
didn't
Street
do that.
Journal, baby.
Oh, I would do the what was it called? Press Enterprise?
Press Enterprise?
I would do Press Enterprise and like LA Times.
Yeah. Well, now it's all available on the phone, so it's like no more paper. And I'm like,
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
I like looking around and then seeing the movies, and it
was awesome. I love the newspaper especially when I was younger. Oh my God, it was amazing. And now it's like those times have gone because nobody wants to read the newspaper anymore.
Yep.
It's like it's on your phone, so convenient. How about no?
No, it's stupid.
Anyway.
But oh my God, it's 1.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, 12:59. Oh, this one's a little. I think by the time it's 12:59. But.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, I guess it's us signing off. We didn't even touch on Tinder yet.
We'll have to come back to this topic then.
Oh God.
That's why I was like, I didn't want it to feel rushed at the end, but I know there was a lot of stuff we wanted to get to.
Oh, I know. Me too.
And so we can probably do dating part 2.
We'll have to do dating part 2 next week probably.
Yeah, because
topic number 1, Tinder.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Why is it so interesting on Tinder? Why is it so provocative? We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Well, Sam's giving us the sign. So we're going to have to go.
It was nice seeing everybody. I hope you enjoyed listening to PB&K.
Yes.
This is Peter signing off for Katie O'Malley.
Yes. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
You're listening to PB&K with your hosts, Peter and Katie, only on LA Talk Radio.